In most parts of the world, people buy land. Here in Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed builds it with the one resource tiny Dubai has in excess: sand. It is he who is responsible for this, the Palm Jumeirah, the world's largest man-made island. Over 305 million square feet of sand has been redistributed in the shape of a palm tree, one of the few trees native to the region.
Sheikh Mohammed is very hands-on. He's very involved with anything that touches his country or his interests. He isn't just crunching numbers, he likes to see his visions carried out.
As soon as the idea was proposed, it was challenged by skeptics.
When Sheikh Mohammed came up with the palm, there were cynics. People said the palm couldn't be done because of the sheer size and the shape.
But it was necessary. The Sheikh's vision of a tourist Shangri-La required beaches. Dubai has 41 miles of natural beaches, but the building boom had swallowed up all of the available beachfront property.
However, Dubai is clever. They're not stopping on the ground. They are actually extending their land area out into the sea itself.
By creating 48 miles of additional beachfront, the Palm Jumeirah more than doubles the size of the entire Dubai coastline. Not surprisingly, Sheikh Mohammed has ordered up 2 more palms. Once completed, the twins will join the Palm Jumeirah as 3 of the rare man-made structures visible from space.
To build the Palm Island, it took 93 million cubic meters of sand. To build the second palm, it was 123 million cubic meters of sand. To build the third palm, it's above 800 million cubic meters.
And as part of a constant quest to push engineering and design boundaries, Sheikh Mohammed was presented with an even greater challenge.
The palms are a very beautiful projects, but they're not true island destination. They're connected to the city by a bridge. We thought of a concept of building 300 man-made islands and shape it like the world.
So how do you build an island, or in this case, a whole new world?
You have to take 3 factors into mind. First is protecting the island.
Protection requires a breakwater, a wall that separates the waves and the sea from the construction inside. For the world, 37 million tons of rock, forged from the Gulf, were used to complete its breakwater. Once in place, engineers are free to begin forming the island.
To build the island, you need sand, and you cannot use desert sand. You can only use marine sand, seabed sand.
Desert sand doesn't work because it is finer, while marine sand has been introduced into that underwater environment, and its denser, more jagged grains are not easily flushed away by the tide.
The sand has been under the water and it's used to the seabed. It's used to the water itself. So we use sand which has already been there. We're not introducing anything new.
While dredging is not a new technology, no one had even conceived of applying it on as grand a scale as Dubai. 2 different dredgers are used to get the job done. The first is a cutter section dredger.
It's a kind of an oil rig. The boat stays where it is. There's a drill that goes into the seabed and starts cutting into the seabed.
The dredgers slice up to 80 feet below the sea floor. As it cuts, it is dragged horizontally, and all loose material is dredged up and pumped through a floating pipeline to its target. The other method for collecting sand is the suction hopper dredger.
It acts like a vacuum machine which basically hoovers the ground and which stores the sand in its belly and come back and start reclaiming.
A pile of sand, no matter how big, does not make an island. In order to turn sand into solid ground, Dubai's engineers use a process called vibrocompaction. Weighing over 5,000 pounds, this giant drill penetrates 50 feet below the surface. Vibration combined with water saturation rearranges loose sand grains into a more compact state.
And it keeps on shaking the ground until the particle of sand comes together and comes closer, and it solidifies, it gets stronger. It does to the ground in 1 hour what it took Mother Nature 10,000 years. It's speeding up the process of creating Earth.
With up to 13 hopper dredgers working on a single site and the vibrocompactors chugging away, islands are being constructed at a staggering rate.
When we started reclamation of the world, on average, an island would be born every week. And we have 300 islands.
Over 320 million cubic meters of sand, or over 259,000 acres, have been used to create all the islands of the world. With sand in seemingly limitless supply, there appears to be no sign of a construction slowdown.
We're always asked, what's the future? It's a very difficult challenge for us to come up with new projects that are as mind-boggling as the ones we have. So we have a project which is still in the planning phase. We have built the world, now we're going to build the universe.
Not to be outdone, architects have taken on an even greater challenge, harnessing two other forces of nature, the sun and wind, in the service of this impossible city.